August is long gone, summer is officially over, and if you're like me, you get this compulsion to start reading the second the leaves start turning brown. So if you're looking to start a new novel, particularly a fantasy one, I've got you covered. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 recommendations of modern fantasy to sink your teeth in. Let's get started. First on the list, we've got Best Served Cold by Joe Abercrombie. So Joe Abercrombie is the main man when it comes to grimdark fantasy. He's recently just published a smashing new book called The Devils that's doing fantastically on the charts. But today, I'm bringing you an entry into his first law universe, a world of grit, of resilience, and of thrilling characterization. Best Served Cold tells the story of Monscaro Mercato, a famous mercenary that is betrayed and narrowly escapes death. Now, she then swears bloody vengeance and embarks on a quest of murder with a ragtag band of misfits. The prose is hefty and punchy, the world building is incredible, there is a tight, fast-paced plot, and as I said, and I've said many times in the past, Joe Abercrombie is just about the best characterization you'll ever read in a book. Next up on the list, we've got The Poppy War by Rebecca Kang. Now, if you are into books, you probably have heard of Rebecca Kang because she's just published a book that is doing very well in the charts called Ctabasis. But today I'm bringing you the very first book that she published, her debut, a book that cemented her, well, not cemented her, but essentially introduced a very potent new author into the modern scene and introduced her very promising career that she's undoubtedly living up to. The Poppy War is the first installment in a trilogy because, of course, it's fantasy, it's going to be a trilogy, and it tells the story of Rin, a peasant girl that aces an entrance exam to the most elite military school in the whole empire. This is a world of constant strife and tension among warring kingdoms. Very good action, very good state progression, and an interesting world building and magic system surrounded, sort of goes around the mysticism of shamanism and is inspired in ancient China. I will confess I have a little bit of a professional crush on Rebecca Kang. She is my age and she's already published 3 or 4 bestsellers and has 2 masters, one from Oxford, the other one from Cambridge, and now she's doing a doctoral research. She is a genius, so do yourself a favor and read one of her books. Next up on the list, we've got Promise of Blood by Brian McClellan, and we are going to stay on theme with debuts. That he's managed to publish a very good first trilogy. It tells the story of Tamas, a military man that overthrows the monarchy, murders the king, instates himself as temporary leader, and then he has to deal with plots both from inside and outside that is trying to stop his revolution. I would say the most fascinating part about this book is the world building and the magic system. So this is a world that is a bit more advanced from your classic fantasy novel, and there's actually powder, there's gunpowder, there's bullets, there's weapons, there's guns, and the magic system revolves around 2 types of magic users. You've got your privileged, which sort of like ancient type kind of magicians that pull magic into the world, but then you've got the powder mages, like the protagonist, like Tamas, who can consume gunpowder and then it gives them superhuman abilities. They are able to see further, be stronger, manipulate bullets, alter the trajectory of bullets. It's really interesting, really imaginative. It has a very clear Sandersonian influence. You can see a hint of Mistborn, and I mean, Brian McClellan went to the BYU class from Sanderson, but I think he does it in a very personal way. I think it's very well realized. Solid novel. Next up on the list, I just simply had to put Stephen King. I think he is the perfect author to read in autumn as the days grow, colder and shorter. And I could pick any books from his vast catalogue because I think that horror is fantasy at its core. But I'm going to go with his most undeniably fantastical series of all, which is The Dark Tower, and The Gunslinger being the first installment in that series. Stephen King himself has explained that The Dark Tower is his own sort of attempt at epic fantasy. He always wanted to do an epic fantasy, saga, inspired mostly by The Lord of the Rings, obviously. And he is inspired, but he was watching one of the Fistful of Dollars trilogy, the one with the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, that kind of all Western movies. And then this world came into his this story came into his mind. There's a world. It's a strange story, a strange epic of Roland Deschain. He's this gunslinging ranger type that is, the lone wolf, and he's ever chasing a mystical figure called the Man in Black. And it is a post-apocalyptic world inspired in the old Wild West, and it is trance-like, it's trippy, and I would highly recommend. It's got that powerful Stephen King prose, and if you want something different, if you want something a little bit trippy, try The Dark Tower. Last recommendation, I sadly don't have the copy with me, I had to sell it. It is The Magicians by Lev Grossman. Now, this book is a bit of a rogue one, it's not in line with the previous one. It's not your classic epic fantasy story. It's not high fantasy, it's actually set in our own world. But it completely gripped me. I was fully immersed, and it really shows you how sometimes you find yourself completely moved by a story that is not in your comfort zone. So it shows the importance of reading out and reading outside of your comfort zone. So The Magicians tells a story. It's set in this world, and it is basically your classic coming-of-age story of boy finds out that he's a wizard, goes to magic school. It is it sounds contrite, but it is done in such a poignant, funny, witty way, and it is very adult. It is not for kids. It touches very adult themes, and it is written with a very adult language. It's basically Harry Potter for adults, and it was so gripping. I really recommend it. It's not your classic, high fantasy, but it is really, really good as a palate cleanser between, big chunky epics or if you want to dip your toes into the fantasy world without getting into, the Stormlight Archive or The Lord of the Rings, which can be very daunting. I highly recommend The Magicians. Very good book. And that brings the video to an end. I hopefully have given you ideas to start new books this autumn. And if you have read yourself the books, just let me know down in the comments below what you thought of them, if you would recommend them, or as well, if you can recommend any other novels without any spoilers. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you check any of the other ones I've put in the screen somewhere, and I will see you in the next one.